3 minutes and 26 seconds of arguing losers. Your proof that multitasking doesn't work. Why is this a meme again? I know I'm missing something.
When
Why
and
is
how
this
does this
constantly
drama
my
start?
recommendation after
Bro,
watching
you
one
need to be
playing
verified
on
in
my
chat.
PC,
WTF, I didn't understand.
The whole drama was
Why
very
Yandere
fun.
Dev?
Something is do a game dev with passion and fun, but be Hitler with some game dev fans.
Consume.
That's really not a word.
Otherwise, you make
Stop.
Why is this in my recommendation?
I don't care.
Why Yandere Simulator fan nothing about him or this game? Why are you all hating on Yandev? And it seems the hate is not just related to the fact the Copperhead got banned without saying anything. Is there some dark backstory I'm missing here? Well, this video's been a long time coming. I saw this was gonna happen. I didn't have enough evidence to say it all in one stream. So I'm gonna start. I have a book of reasons you should hate Yandev. What the fuck is it? Ugh. Copper? Oh, yeah? I found it. Oh, well, then bring it in. You do know that thing's like 200 pounds, right? I don't see a problem with that. And you wanted me to bring that all the way down here? Yeah. You know slavery's been illegal for quite a few years now, actually. You work for me for free, so what? Hey man, at least I let you out of the cage. You can go back in there if you want. I won't hesitate. That's a fair point. Good. Sorry I couldn't get it down here. Let's get started. Alright, with all that fun stuff out of the way, I know my last two videos have been about Yandere Dev. There've just been so many questions about the things Yandev has done in the past, and I'd like to finally put these things to rest. After all, there is quite a story to be told. So, Yandev's story doesn't actually start as Yandev. Alex Mahan used to go under the alias of Ava Zephon on 4chan. His first bout of infamy was on a forum known as A. In these posts, he had tried to invalidate Evangelion by saying it's a ripoff of an anime called RahXephon, which is a very obscure anime. He made PowerPoints with poor proof and posted them to A, as well as his own personal site, avazephon.com. He was instantly mocked and became somewhat of a meme on the board. Despite this, he continued to do so until he was inevitably banned. A semi-lesser known fact is actually that he was an avid fanfiction author. His fanfictions often revolved around normal topics like rape and abuse and being a sex slave and stuff like that, which was a known thing Ava was into. But the main part of Ava Zephon's legacy was a certain video standing in front of a certain wooden backdrop drinking a certain substance out of a certain vessel. During his time as Ava Zephon, He was targeting young girls and taking advantage of them for his own sexual desires. This was the main problem with my video. I didn't explain this, but the evidence is here now. Now, in all seriousness, I'm going to have to warn every viewer watching this. We are about to cover a very sensitive, disgusting, horrible topic. Some people may not be able to handle what is being said here. I will leave a timestamp on the screen of which you can skip to if you are uncomfortable with talking about sexual predators, people being taken advantage of, just stuff like that. I don't want anyone to be upset or hurt by this video. Now, let's continue. The most concrete evidence we have is a first-hand account of the predatory nature of Eva Zefan made by a girl that went under the name of Sisefs, which was a throwaway account on the popular site Tumblr. Like I said, this is the most concrete evidence we have due to it being a first-hand account. The post that Sisefs made was titled Yandere Dev / Eva Zefan / Alex is a pedophile, or at least a former one. There are actually several posts that go on about this topic, but the main one is, of course, the one that I mentioned before. It's a very long post, but it has 3 key paragraphs that I will read for you, just to show kind of the base of what is going on. And these points are as follows. About 8 years ago, I was 14 and Ava was 21. I was in 8th grade, finishing up middle school, and loved to hang out at his video stream after school. I went by the name Sisefs. I was not quiet about my gender. When he found out I was a girl, he just went nuts in the way internet creepers do. Being 14 and shy as hell in real life, I enjoyed that attention, not realizing how wrong it was. So when he wanted to date me, I went along with it. Now, I want to point this out. Ava knew I was 14. He was well aware for the entirety of our relationship. His justification, and I remember this clearly because it struck out to me as strange, was that since he was homeschooled, he had missed out on the experience of dating girls in high school, and this was the perfect opportunity to make up for that. I reminded him I was in middle school, not high school. He said, same difference. Here's a list of shit that happened at that point. 1. He asked me for nudes, which I took and then provided to him via an image hosting site that's probably long dead by now. He asked me to pose in specific ways for some of them. 2. We sexted over Skype. Worth noting, I think, is that he made excuses not to reciprocate text-based oral. Seriously? 3. He masturbated on webcam to me while I made moaning noises over my mic at his request. 4. I borrowed my friend's webcam to video chat with him. He asked me to strip, but my friend was in the room with me. Instead, when she wasn't looking, I flashed him. Some other things he did, while not illegal or pedophilic, were skeevy as hell. Saw flat-chested girls as deformed, similar to an amputee. Dismissed me or brushed me aside whenever I spoke up about something not related to sex. Told another girl in chat that he would keep her in a cage and love her. Begged me to stay with him, offered to change himself, etc. When I ended things, then when I refused, banned me altogether from his streams and began to spread vitriol about me. And lied heavily to cover his own tracks. Shocking. Now get this. She also said, I'm under the impression that his version of the story is as follows. I was some desperate girl who sent nudes unsolicited to everyone and anyone, and he deleted the disgusting pics and banned me as soon as he learned I was underage. Now the funny thing about that specific point, such a minute detail, is later on, Yandere Dev made that exact argument almost word for word. I'm not kidding. The thing he actually said is as follows. The second allegation is that I am a child solicitor and sex offender. These accusations are almost too silly to dignify with a response, but I'll respond nonetheless. About 6 years ago, I knew a young woman who did a lot of inappropriate things in order to get people to pay attention to her. one of the things she did was to send nude pictures of herself to lots of people. I was one of the people who she sent nude pictures to. Months later, I learned that she was actually too young to be doing that sort of thing. I deleted her pictures immediately, of course. To be perfectly clear, the pictures were unsolicited. I don't go around asking kids to send me nude pics.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Alex was also known to be into something known as lollies. I think you all know what that's about. Here's some examples. Okay, so I'm actually just gonna show one image, and it's the only image that isn't graphic and gross enough to have YouTube hit me with a, you know. Hey buddy, what you got there? Oh, a video? Cool.
Wha-pow! Wha-pow! Wha-ya-pow!
But anyways, he says, I improved Kana. Now, first of all, Scott's a wrongin' too, don't get me wrong, but let me tell you something, Yondev. This girl's underage. If her age is on the clock, she's too young for your cock. Alright? And the worst thing out of all this child stuff is definitely, you know Yandere Simulator, how it has a main character? She's underage too, and he has made very explicit artwork of this character. And this stuff, just look at it. I mean, it's nasty, man. I don't like it. It makes my skin crawl, dude.
Stick 'em up. This is a robbery. Give me all your valuables. Put all the money in the bag. I'm robbing you. This is a robbery.
Yondev at this point realized, wow, I gotta make this game and I need to put in some things. I need to make the game pretty. So where am I gonna find these assets? I could make them, or I could pay someone to make them, or I could just steal them. And let me tell you, that's exactly what this guy did. Now you're probably wondering, well, Copper, what did he exactly steal? Where's your proof? Well, you're asking the wrong question, my friend. The right question is, what didn't this guy steal? I need to make a gym. Oh wait, I'll be taking that. I need a living room. Hey, that's mine now. I need a town. Hey, is that yours? I'll be taking that, thank you. I need a bedroom. Mine now, bitch! I need a model. So this girl Meika has one that's pretty good. I'm not gonna tell her that I'm using it. I need a simple grass texture. I mean, it could take me 5 minutes to make one, but no, there's one right here. I need a teddy bear picture. Why don't I just take these? I mean, they're right there for me. Who's gonna notice? Now, people actually caught on fairly quickly to his little game. So, what do you do if you have $360,000 from Patreon and you need assets made? You ask your fan base to make it for free as volunteers. Now, you guys know I'm no stranger to free labor, but I can't afford it. I just keep these guys in the basement. He can afford it. What are you doing, dude? Now, people, for some reason, actually did volunteer because they just wanted this game to finally come out. Realized that it had only been in production for a little while compared to how long it's been in production now. But, when they did volunteer, you would think, oh, he'd be so thankful. He'd be so ready. No, I treated him like shit. This guy literally, he had to quit because he couldn't stand working with the guy. I wouldn't either. I wouldn't have even volunteered in the first place, but what do I know? I understand that it's hard to make things, Yondev. I really do. But you didn't credit a single person, and approximately 10% of your game was actually made by you or your volunteers. The rest was just stolen. You literally can't do a single thing for yourself, can you? Now, he said these were all placeholders for when he made his own things, but he's put so much stuff into this game that literally it would take him another 2 to 3 years to remake everything as his own. And we know he's not going to do it. 1, the game's not coming out. 2, he wouldn't do it anyways because he's too used to stealing everything. So basically what I'm saying is, just because he can't make anything doesn't mean he can't pay someone, because he clearly has the money for it. Remember, he makes $360,000 over the course of 6 years over his Patreon for doing nothing. He could definitely afford this. Now, I think we all know nobody's perfect. Neither is Yondev. He lies, he manipulates, he does all sorts of things, but I don't think a lot of people can compile all the things he's done together. But let me show you just some of the honorable mentions. Up first, we have Yandere Dev telling a fan that they should kill themselves. Let's take a look.
But like, as long as somebody is in your party. You're a fucking retard, sold out. Go fucking kill yourself, dumb shit. You're a fucking idiot.
Up next, we have Yandere Dev saying he wishes he could kill his parents. Let's take a look. On a shocking post on Gacha Online. Not depressed anymore. Also known as Ava Zephon, also known as Yandere Dev, says this. My dad is obsessed with getting into college. Think of a born-again Christian who is obsessed with his son getting into heaven. He keeps on telling me how if I don't study, I won't do well in school. If I don't do well in school, I won't get into a college. And if I don't graduate college, I will fail at life and be a bum forever, as opposed to being a rich success. He sounds exactly like those Jesus freaks who say, if you don't love Jesus, you won't get into heaven and will go to hell forever. He is obsessed with the thought of college, harassing me about it all day long and even personally insulting me whenever I disagree with him. I hate him so much. I don't love my father anymore. He's an asshole. He's so mean to me. All he has to say to me are mean things. I feel like my father died and was replaced by a horrible monster who delights in torturing me. I hate him so much. I wish he would disappear from my life. I want to make him disappear from my life. I want to kill him. I want to kill him with my bare hands. I want to strangle him to death. I personally couldn't do that though, so I always fantasize about using a knife. While he's sleeping, I sneak into his room and plunge the knife right into his throat, stab him over and over and over while screaming at him what a horrible father, what a horrible person he is. And right as he realizes it's me, he'll die. Then I'll have to kill my mom. She's a total bitch anyway. I'd like it if she died too. All she does is get mad at me for things I didn't do and have no control over or aren't my fault. Every day I get more and more angry and grow more and more hateful towards those two stupid, horrible people. I want them both to die, and I feel like I am eventually going to do something absolutely horrible to them. What should I do? Number 3. Perversion. In another post on Gaia Online, not depressed anymore, says this. So there is this girl at my school with really nice breasts. I mean, wow, they are amazing. She just has such an incredible figure and such a beautiful chest. And the best part is, she is always wearing low-cut tops that show off her cleavage. Oh, it's heaven. When she's in the room, I can't pay attention to anything else. I always stare at her breasts when she's around, but today she wore a shirt that doesn't expose any cleavage at all. It's like she's not even the same person anymore. Do you think she covered up her cleavage because I'm always staring at her breasts? Discuss. Cleavage, breasts, staring. At number 4, we have Yandere Dev says that the people that support him are just retarded little kids. He's talking about you! Let's take a look. So this one's a bit of a doozy. It's kind of a double whammy. So he says, as a promise to his fans on 4chan, he says, I will never have a Patreon. That's SJW shit. People believed him. But then, he said this. Yandere Dev had opened his own Patreon. And he said, this Patreon is just to take money away from retarded PewDiePie kids. After all, they had already played it. He couldn't make them unplay it, so why not get some stupid kid money on the side? Guess who the stupid kids are? That's right, you! So guess what that means? In the eyes of Yandere Dev, the man that was supported by all of you, You're all retards, you're all sheep, how about that? But that's not all. Would you like to know what Yandere Dev thinks should happen to retarded children? Well, let me tell you, it's a good one. He thinks they should all die. He says, part of me can't help but think that things would be better if babies weren't allowed to be born if they were going to have mental retardations, and that the mentally retarded shouldn't be kept alive. What a guy! Up next, we have Yandere Dev supporting school shootings. Alex says, that depends. Were the victims random innocent people, or were the victims only bullies who delighted in the pain of others, who made a hobby out of inflicting physical and psychological pain on other people, who laugh and joke at other people's misfortunes and losses? Obviously, the bullies I've described don't deserve to live, make the world a horribly place, and should be exterminated. There's not a problem at all with killing them. Just leave the innocents out of it. At number 6, Yandere Dev tells another fan that they'd be better off dead. When someone tried to apologize to Yandere Dev, his reply was, I think the world would be a better place if GU died. I will never return to the server as long as GU is there. I'll bet GU's thankful for that. And all we have time for is one more, and that is Suicide Bay. You know how I feel about that. Fucker. So before I get into my problems with what I've said, I want to give a big shout out to my whole Discord server. If you're not already in it, please join it. We talk about Yandev sometimes there, but most of the time we're just hanging out there. It's a lot of fun. The link is on the screen now and also in the description. I also want to give a massive shout out to JMix. He made a document with all of these screenshots that I'm showing you throughout this entire video. I will leave a link to the whole document because he said that's okay. I can't thank him enough for all of this. Lastly, I want to thank everyone that has stuck with me throughout this whole thing. It took me a long time, and personally I'm not 100% happy with how this video has gone, but it might just be me. I don't know. I'm sorry I couldn't cover so much more, but I am leaving resources in the description for you to read more about this, because honestly, I can't make an 8-hour-long video about everything wrong with Yandev. This is just things that I personally have a problem with. We're really trying to grow the Discord. We're almost at 250 members. I started with 24. This whole thing has been nuts. But I post a lot about Yandev on Twitter, so you can check that out over there. Although it's mainly just me getting really upset about every time he pulls some shit, but I mean, what else is new? But yeah, now I just want to really quickly talk about the things that I've said and done, because I'm making my statements towards Yandev and I want to clear some of the air first. So first I want to bring up the line where I insinuated that Yandev should kill himself. I do not believe that any human should do such a thing. I really don't. I think there's never just an easy way out. I think you got to give life a chance, man. And this doesn't just apply to Yandev. I'm sorry that I would say that to anyone, because I have said it in the past. I have been angry and I have said things like that, and I will accept criticism for that. After all, I'm not Yandev. I also want to address the idea that if I had an interview with Yandev, I would have taken things out of context. It was the heat of the moment, and I know people keep saying, oh, he doesn't know you an interview because you would do that. I would never do that. The point of an interview is to keep out all personal bias and get answers for people that want the answers, and that was the intention the whole time. I was angry at the time. There's not much I can say that'll make things easier to actually get an interview with Yandere Dev, but I just want to say, if we ever got to that point, I would never do such a thing, and I can't believe I would say something like that, but I can't do anything about that now except say that wasn't what I was going to do, and I would never do such a thing, like I keep saying. I know I keep repeating myself, I sound like a broken record, but I just need to get that point across. I want to address all of Yandere Dev's fans as well. I don't have a problem with any of you except the ones that think that what he does is okay. It's not. But if I say something about his fan base, it's only the people that are diehard fans and will defend him to the end of days about stuff that clearly is not okay in any way, shape, or form because they just want this game to come out or something like that. I love each and every one of you guys, no matter what you believe in, who you are, what gender you are, anything. I don't show favoritism towards anyone. You can like whoever you want to like, just don't defend the wrong people. And lastly, to all the people that are disappointed in how this video turned out, I'm very sorry. I tried my hardest, but I've really been kind of juggling things around to get this done. I edit for other people. I just lost my job. Things got tough for me, and this is all I could do. I covered what I could and what I wanted to, but this video was not my best work, and I'm sorry. If you did like it though, I'm very glad, and I hope you subscribe or something for that. You don't have to though. And now with all the damage control out of the way, I have a message for Yandere Dev. Mr. Yandere Dev or Alex, I would like to start this off by saying I do not think you are a good person, but I'm willing to do one last thing for you. You are guilty until proven innocent, at least in the eyes of the public. What I'm doing is giving you an opportunity to take everything I've said in this video and refute it in an unbiased interview. I know what I said in my video, that's not going to be the case. I'm giving you one chance. People will watch it. People will listen to whatever you say. I just need one last interview. If you don't take this interview, I'm not going to say what people will think, but personally, what I would think is that would mean you don't want to look like an idiot because what I said was right and is actually the truth. If it's not the truth, you should have no problem with coming on and doing an audio interview where you don't just say, look at my debunk page, or you don't just hang up in the middle when I ask a question you don't like. This is a chance at redemption, and everything could go totally in your favor. People will listen to you. People will care, and I will care. I'm giving you a chance to redeem yourself. You don't have to take this. You don't even have to respond to me. You could tell me that I'm a piece of shit and you would never talk to me again. But I just don't like giving people this amount of shit and not letting them say anything about it. You may contact me on my Discord server or my Twitter or my Twitch DMs, anything. I'm on pretty much any social media platform. You can even comment on my video. This is your final chance, Yandev. Use it wisely.